before we really dive in, I want you to ask yourself a question. What is the greatest loss in life? Just think about that for a beat. Usually, our minds instantly jump to those devastating, tangible things, right? We think of a catastrophic failure, maybe financial ruin, or even the tragic reality of death. But the source material we're examining today flips that assumption entirely on its head.
The real answer is actually incredibly profound. The greatest loss is what dies inside us while we live. It's not about the stuff that happens to us externally. No, the true tragedy is when we just allow our inner drive, our hope, our passion, or a belief in ourselves to just wither away while our hearts are still beating. Abandoning that inner spark, that is the ultimate tragedy we absolutely have to avoid.
Okay, let's jump right into section 1, navigating life's darkest moments. It is during the darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. The absolutely crucial word here is focus. Finding hope isn't just this passive activity that magically washes over you when you're sitting in the dark feeling defeated. It requires deliberate, intense effort. When things are at their absolute hardest, that is exactly when you have to train your eyes and your mind to actively search for the light. Because, and this is so important to hear, difficult times are not sent to destroy you. If you're going through something terribly hard right now, please know that your current hardship is not a punishment from the universe, and it is certainly not your final destination. It might feel like a crushing weight, but it actually serves a completely different purpose. Instead, challenges are meant to do 3 very specific things: promote you, increase you, and strengthen you. That's a massive shift in perspective, isn't it? Instead of seeing an obstacle as a solid brick wall, view it as a hidden mechanism for your own personal growth. Every single time you face something that feels insurmountable, it's essentially life offering you a rigorous training ground to stretch your capabilities so you can truly increase and strengthen. Which brings us to section 2, mastering your inner world. We really have to confront this reality. Nothing in the world can bother you as much as your own mind. The wisdom we're unpacking today constantly reminds us that our internal narrative, the stories we spin, those catastrophic what-ifs we invent, the past conversations we replay on a loop, those are almost always way more damaging and exhausting than the external events themselves. Your mind is the ultimate battleground. So where do we get tripped up? Usually, we face 2 massive joy stealers. Living in the past, that inevitably brings regrets. Living in the future, that's just a one-way ticket to anxiety. If you are stuck constantly rewinding yesterday or fast-forwarding to tomorrow, you are completely missing the only place where you actually have any agency, which is the present moment. And part of claiming that present moment means protecting your peace. That brings us to this super practical piece of advice. Sometimes, silence is your strongest boundary. Mastering your inner world doesn't just mean fixing your thoughts. It also means actively choosing not to engage in pointless external conflicts. Simply put, you do not have to attend every argument you're invited to. People who do not understand your silence will never understand your words. Think about that. If someone refuses to respect your quiet boundaries, no matter how much over-explaining or arguing is going to magically make them get it, this completely validates your right to protect your energy. You are absolutely allowed to disengage from people in situations that drain you. Your peace of mind is way too valuable to waste on friction that goes nowhere. Now, when we think of what makes life worthwhile, we usually expect words like joy, love, or success, right? But consider this grouping: change, failure, defeats, progress. Wait, failure? Defeats? Why group perceived negatives right alongside progress? Well, because you absolutely cannot have progress without the friction of failure. They're a package deal. That friction gives life its texture, its lessons, and ultimately its meaning. Let's keep moving into section 3, the power of consistent action. All this internal wisdom is great, but it requires an actionable roadmap. Step 1, let go of everything you fear to lose. That fear of loss is exactly what paralyzes us. Step 2, take 1 step. Remember that old saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with just 1 step? Don't worry about mile 999. Just focus on the step directly in front of you. And step 3, do it consistently, because resilience doesn't come from what you do just occasionally. Pulling yourself out of a deep rut is daunting, heavy emotional labor, but when you break it down into these manageable pieces, it suddenly becomes possible. But hey, let's do a quick reality check here and set some expectations. Action may not always bring happiness, and this is vital to understand. Just because you get out of bed and take a step forward doesn't mean you're going to be instantly hit with this massive wave of euphoria. It doesn't magically cure the sadness or erase the pain overnight. But there is no happiness without action. Boom, there is the philosophical payload right there. Action is the non-negotiable prerequisite for eventual joy. You might take a step today and still feel terrible, but if you take 0 steps, you are guaranteeing that you stay exactly where you are, in the dark. Action is the engine that eventually drives you out to a much better place.
So I'm going to challenge you directly on this. Knowing and willing are not enough. You must stop doubting yourself. You can watch this explainer, you can read all the profound quotes in the world and nod your head in total agreement, but it is completely useless if you don't fiercely apply it to your daily routine. That doubt that's holding you back, it's literally just another trick of that internal mind trying to bother you. As the source material puts it so incredibly bluntly, we must apply, we must do. This is a forceful call to take immediate, unflinching ownership of your circumstances. You're the only one who can pull the levers of your own life. So stop waiting for the perfect conditions, stop waiting for the fear to completely disappear, and just start doing, right now, with whatever tools you currently have. And that leads us perfectly into our final segment, Section 4, Finding True Happiness Within. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. We tend to massively overcomplicate our lives, don't we? We convince ourselves we need a million external things to fall perfectly into place. The right job, the money, the perfect relationship, 0 problems. But true contentment relies solely on your mindset. It is 100% an inside job.
Which is exactly why we need to let this next concept really sink in. Be happy for this moment. This moment is your life. This idea completely strips away all our modern illusions. Life isn't waiting for you in the future once you've supposedly figured it all out. Life is unfolding right now, in this exact second. If you constantly defer your happiness to tomorrow, you'll end up missing your entire existence.
And that brings us to a really profound, overarching realization. Life is not a problem to be solved. Let's just take a breath right there. We've got to stop treating our existence like a frustrating, impossible math puzzle that we have to somehow crack before we're allowed to finally enjoy it. Are you ready to experience it? That is the real question, isn't it? Life is a reality to be experienced, with all its messy failures, its required actions, and its eventual hard-earned light. You have the tools to master your mind, and you know that taking consistent action is the only true way forward. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Are you going to keep trying to solve the problem of your life? Or are you finally ready to truly experience it? The choice is entirely yours.